The official squad list for the season's UEFA Champions League have been released, and many familiar names have been left out. In this video, you'll see which players didn't make the cut and understand the reasons behind each exclusion. Afterwards, I'd like you to tell me in the comments which of these players you think will be missed the most at the start of the competition. 1. Presnel Kimpembe, Paris Saint-Germain. Starting with a defensive system, a well-known name who wasn't registered for the Champions League group stage is a French centre-back Presnel Kimpembe, 30 years old, still a PSG player. You probably remember Kimpembe from earlier times when he was a starter alongside Marquinhos and Thiago Silva, and also a regular in the French national team. But time has passed, and in 2025 is not the same player he was in 2020 or 2021. In recent seasons, Kimpembe has suffered several injuries, even spending almost an entire year sidelined. Now, even though he has recovered, coach Luis Enrique doesn't see space for him in the squad. With a PSG defense well set, Marquinhos, Skriniar, Beraldo as backup, it became difficult for Kimpembe to find minutes. That's why PSG chose not to register him. 2. Dejan Kulusevski, Tottenham Hotspur. Moving on to England, Tottenham also left out a big name from their squad list, the Swedish winger Dejan Kulusevski. A talented left-footed player, always dangerous cutting in from wide areas. Fans of the Premier League know his quality well. However, unlike Kimpembe, Kulusevski was not excluded due to lack of space, but because he is currently unavailable. He suffered a serious knee injury in May and is expected to return only at the end of the year. If Tottenham advances to the knockout stage, new registrations are allowed, and that's when Kulusevski could be added. 3. Raheem Sterling, Chelsea. Another familiar name missing from the Champions League is the English forward Raheem Sterling, 30 years old. In his case, this is not due to injury but a clear technical decision by coach Enzo Maresca. Sterling is no longer part of Chelsea's plans. He wasn't even included in the squad for the Club World Cup, and the club even tried to find him a new team during the transfer window, but no deal was reached. With new attacking names like João Pedro, Estevao, Pedro Neto, and with Palmer performing well, there's simply no room for Sterling. He is expected to remain sidelined at least until January, when Chelsea will likely attempt to loan or sell him. 4. Federico Chiesa, Liverpool. If you followed the last transfer window, you'll understand this one. Liverpool practically rebuilt their attack, investing heavily in signings like Florian Wirtz, Hugo Ekitike, and Alexander Isak. With all these reinforcements, Italian winger Federico Chiesa, who had already struggled to cement his place last season, lost even more space. Because of this, Liverpool decided not to register him for the group stage, as the club doesn't currently see him fitting into the squad. 5. Arkadiusz Milik, Juventus. Polish striker Arkadiusz Milik has had good spells in Italian football, but his recent years at Juventus have been disappointing. Today, the club has other options like Dusan Vlahovic and newly signed Lois Openda from RB Leipzig. With so many attacking alternatives, Juve simply doesn't trust Milik enough. For that reason, he was left out of the squad list by technical choice. Still, if Juventus reaches a knockout stage, there's a chance Milik could be added later. 6. Romelu Lukaku, Napoli. One of the most surprising and frustrating cases is Belgian striker Romelu Lukaku, now at Napoli. His resume speaks for itself. Goals everywhere he's played: Chelsea, Manchester United, Everton, Inter Milan. Last season he had an excellent campaign, scoring decisive goals and helping Napoli win the Serie A title. But ahead of this season, Lukaku suffered a serious thigh injury with no clear recovery timeline. Napoli even signed a replacement striker, Rasmus Højlund, on loan from Manchester United, to cover for him. Since Lukaku is not fit, Napoli couldn't register their top scorer for the Champions League. If he recovers in time for the knockout rounds, he could still be added. 7. Gabriel Jesus, Arsenal. Finally, we also have a Brazilian on the list, Gabriel Jesus, forward for Arsenal. His time in London has been difficult, with recurring injuries in recent seasons. The worst came this January, when he tore knee ligaments in a match against Manchester United. This type of injury keeps players out for 7 to 8 months, and many struggle to return at the same level. Gabriel Jesus is expected to return in about 3 months, but Arsenal couldn't take the risk. They chose not to register him for now and will rely instead on new signing jokers, brought in from Sporting CP for a big fee. Like Kulusevski, Gabriel could still be registered later if Arsenal qualify for the knockout stage. So, now I want to know your opinion in the comments. Which of these decisions do you think the clubs got right, and where will they most miss these excluded players? Don't forget to comment, leave a like, subscribe, and share this video. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.